Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. Thank you for watching this video. So in this video we will discuss on the 7 layers of the OSI model. OSI model was established or introduced in the late 1970s. Okay, it stands for the Open System Interconnections and known as the OSI model. Consists of 7 layers. This standard is being introduced in order to allow the interoperability of various communication system, various devices, okay, various network services. So all the devices, all the services provide in order to allow the communication over the internet must follow the standard or the model of OSI, the Open System Interconnection. So this model is consists of 7 layers, was established by the ISO, the organization, the International Standard Organization. Okay, these are the 7 layers of the OSI model. At the bottom one, we have the physical layers, followed by the data link, network, transport, session, presentation, and application. If you already watch the concept of layer videos, you can try to relate these 7 layers with the layers that we have discussed on how to sending a letter to your friend at Lahadatu. So this is the foundation. We use the concept of these layers in order to come out with this OSI model. Okay, let's look this one, how it interact between each layer to layer. Okay, let's say here, based on this figure, we have device E and we have device B. A want to send a data to device B. So in order to send a data to device B, they need to go through the internet, or they need to come to go through more than one network, for example, or a network. So instead of sending a letter to your friend at Lahadatu, so now you can imagine you want to send an email to your friend at Lahadatu. Okay, so at the first part, you open your Gmail. When you open your Gmail, that part is the application layer where the user interact with the application. What are the protocol on that part? SMTP, sending an electrical protocol, electronic mail protocol. Okay, there are protocol that you need to use. Okay, at the application part, you have the presentation layer that present to you as a user. You have the session layer. You need to log in order to go for your Gmail account. And then you write whatever you want into the email. You put the email addresses, which is your friend at Sabah that use the device B. Okay, for example. But then in that case, we have the specific address, which is your friend email address. And then we have this transport, and then we have network. So your email will go through the transport network and then go to the data link and then the physical layers. Okay, from top to the bottom. And then from the physical, it will goes to another physical. It try to connect from your computer to another computer based on the connection. So physical will be goes to physical, data link to the data link, network to the network. So from bottom, now your data will climb up to the application, and then after they goes to the application, then your friends at Lahadatu, when they open the Gmail, they're able to read your email. Okay. Imagine the process of sending a letter using the post office or post laju. Now relate that concept into the concept of sending an email or electronic mail through the Gmail. The same concept, but in that Gmail process, sending an email, you need to follow or you need to go through all the 7 layers based on the OSI model. Okay, look at the physical layer first. So in these physical layers, the data is in a form of 0101. Let's say you say hello my friends. Okay, the physical layer will not interpret your data as hello my friends. It will interpret the data as 1010 or 0101, because computer only understand to read the bit number, either 0 or 1. Okay, so physical layer will get the data from the data link layer. Okay, now we focus on the physical layer first. Okay, so the data link layer will give or provide data to the physical layers. So the physical layer is responsible for the movement of individual bits from one hop to the next, one node to the next. Okay, so the process of transmission is using the transmission medium. It can be what are the medium that it use, and then the physical layers at the receiver side will get the data and send the data from the physical layer to the data link layer. So you need to bear in your mind, at the physical layers is responsible in order to control the movement of every single bit in your message. Okay, physical characteristic of the interface and media. Okay, these are the list of responsibility at the physical layers. Okay, they are responsible on the type of transmission medium and port number. Okay. It represents the data of bits. So signal to be transmitted must be encoded into electrical or optical signal. The data rate of the transmission means the number of bits need to be sent in 1 second per second. Synchronization of the bits, the arrangement of the bits. So sender receiver clock must be synchronized. Line configuration and physical structure, point to point or multi-point connection. As we learned before, the type of connection we only have two, point to point and multi-point connection. Transmission mode, the data flow, either simplex, duplex, half duplex. Okay, and the physical topology that being implemented. Okay, the next layer we go to the data link. So data link get the data from the network layer. From the network layer pass to the data link layer. After the data link layer process, it will pass to the physical layer. So in data link, this layer is responsible for moving frame from one hop to the next. Physical layer, bits, individual bits. A data link layer, a frame of data. Okay, when you send a data, you send frame by frame, and then from frame it divided into bits. So at the receiver side, it from data link goes to the physical goes to another physical for the receiver part. From the receiver, physical goes to the data link layer. Okay, that are the flow. You can see that this is the flow of data. So this one is the list of responsibilities of data link layer. First, framing, because it sent frame by frame. So it divides stream of bits received into manageable data unit that we call it as a frame. So later on you will learn about frame per second. Okay. So physical addressing. Physical addressing usually at the header of the frame. Okay, in a frame. Okay, this one is a frame. So at a frame we have header and we have tail. Kita ada kepala, head, kita ada ekor, tail. So inside the header and inside the tail, they have their specific data. So at the header part, we have the addressing or physical addressing. And then it also responsible for the flow control. So data absorbed by the receiver, less than rate produced in the sender data link, impose flow control of the sending process, and then as well as the error control. Later on, we will learn about the error detection and correction. So that are the responsibility of this kind of layers. So we add the mechanism in order to detect and retransmit damage or loss frame. Okay, so let's say you send a message hello at the receiver side should be received as hello, not hell. If your friend receive hell, that mean you have damage frame or damage data, damage signal or lost some frame during the transmission. And the next part is access control. Two or more devices connected at the same link. Data link determine which device has control over the link. So access control. Okay, we also will learn on the access method later on. Okay, this one is hope to hope delivery. Hope to hope delivery means, okay, computer E at this network, and then we have router here, another network, connect with another network at router E and router C. So hope to hope delivery means from this device to this router. Note, hope is the end device. So what is the device here? We have a computer, we have the router. So from hope to hope, from system computer E to the router B, from router B to the router E, or from router B to router C, or from router C to D, from E to F. So this is what we call as hope to hope. The next part is the network layers. So the network layers in a form of packet. We call as packet. We have bit, frame, packet. So the network layer is responsible for the delivery of individual packets from the source host to the destination host. So it's responsible for the logical addressing, and it provides two services which are switching and routing. Okay, this one is on how to identify that packet should be goes to which network. Okay, so source to the destination delivery means, okay, E want to send to F, so from E to F. Hope to hope from one device to another device until it meet the last device that they will want. From source to destination, that means E want to send data to F. So from E to F is responsible by the transport layer. Network layer. Transport layer. Network layer, node to node. Okay, transport layer, source to destination. So that there are the difference. Okay. Network source to destination, transport for the whole message. Okay, network from source to destination of each packet. Transport is the whole message. Okay, the whole message from one to another process. So under the transport, they're responsible for the port addressing to get the correct port address, segmentation and reassemble, how to segment the data and then reassemble again the data, the connection control, the flow control, as well the error control. So this one is process to process delivery. Process refer to the application, for example Gmail. So this port number for Gmail to a Gmail port number. So host to host delivery. process to process delivery, process Gmail application to another process Gmail application. So that are under the transport layer. The next part we have session layer. So session layer is responsible for dialog control and synchronization. Okay, dialog control allow the communication between two processes. Synchronization allow the process to add checkpoint or synchronization bit to a stream of data. This one to identify which frame first, which frame second, which frame third. So they want to reassemble again. So these layer are responsible in order to make sure that the data is synchronized. The bits of data is synchronized. Okay. The next layer is presentation layer. So the presentation layer is responsible for translation, compression, and encryption. If you still remember the concept of layer and how to sending a letter to your friends, okay, translation layer means a computer doesn't know how to read whatever you write down as hello friends. So they need to translate that data, that dialogue into the 0101 and then compress the file that you send. So when you do compression, shorter time is needed in order to send the data, upload and download, okay, for example, and then do an encryption. So you can relate the encryption with the envelope. You put your letter into the envelope, so no one can read your letter. For example, only your friend will read your letter. So that is the process of encryption. Okay, and the last layers under the OSI model is the application layers. So these application layers is responsible for providing services to the user. Example that I mentioned before is the Gmail application. Okay, for example, mail services, file transfer protocol. You want to transfer the file, and then accessing to the internet. Okay, most application today are based under the application layer in order to transfer file, in order to do mail, sending an email, surf the internet, remote to another desktop, online. Okay, that are the 7 layers of the OSI model. So basically, these are the 7 layers in the OSI model. We have application, presentation, session, transport, network, data link, and physical. Physical, it transmit bit over a medium, so individual bit responsible on the individual bit. Data link is about the frame, from hop to hop, from one node to another node, from end device to another end device. Network, movement of the packet from the source to the destination. Okay, and then transport, based on the process to process, and then message, the whole message delivery, error recovery, data flow. Session, to establish, to manage, to terminate the session. Before you can communicate, you must create a session, and then it will control the session, and then it will disconnect the session. Presentation allow you for translation, encryption, and compress the data. And application allow you to access the network resources. So hopefully you already know and understand what are the role of the OSI model, or what are the role of those layers in the OSI model, from the application until the physical. You must remember those layers in the network model here for you to imagine how the process of transferring the data through the internet or network. So that's all for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Assalamualaikum.